Do not thin it into the face or duff it. Well, the positives are that ball just got over the bunker, but I'm still left with about 30 yards to the pin. Guys, I'm Matt Fire, PGA professional, and I bet this is some people's living nightmare. The shot where we've got to make half a swing with a wedge and we've got an obstacle in front of us here. So for me to the flag, it's 60 yards. I've got a bunker that is literally about 10 yards in front of me. Just to the right of the green, I've got a couple of bunkers, and the pin's only just on the front of the green. So this is a tough shot, and to make matters worse, it's a little bit downwind, so getting it to stop near the flag, it's going to be really, really tough. In today's lesson, I'm going to give you two things you've got to do to stop you seeing that you get that shot there, that fortunately I probably would have the putter out next if I was someone who was fearing the shot, but to see that you stop duffing these shots, because it's one that we can accumulate a lot of strokes on. We see them firing over the back of the green when we thin it, or when we duff it into the front. And even if we've not got a bunker in the front of us, I would imagine just that half swing, actually, how do we make the half swing with a wedge and see that we actually get the ball flying out with a nice decent height on it and stopping close to the pin? That is something that will terrify a lot of people. So let's get stuck into the lesson right now. So guys, if it is your first lesson as well, welcome to the channel firstly, and also do remember to hit the subscribe button down below, turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss any future lessons. Right then, two things about that golf swing. Number one, it was awkward, I would describe it as, and it didn't have a lot of width. So what do I mean by that? Number two on our list here, the key thing that you've got to do is keep some width in your golf swing. What I start to see from a lot of people is that they make the swing, and it's very different in terms of backswing length to follow through length. The width of the backswing is sometimes wider, on the way down it's narrower, on the way followed through it's not as extended, and we're going to have real inconsistencies when we come to striking the golf ball, especially on these shots here where we've not got the momentum of a full swing and the big weight transfer to almost carry the club through and get away with that shot. So here's a little drill I'd like you to do. You can buy a band like this from any sports store or anything like that, and all I've done is tied a couple of knots on it there, just so it's the appropriate length for me. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to adopt my grip here, and then I'm just going to place this part of the band into my thumb there, so we can see on the camera here the band is now literally sat under my lead hand, just with the knot out of the way. And the reason for that being, it's a stretchy elastic band, and what I tend to notice from a lot of people, like I say, is this width and the length of stroke changes. What we would see is that we go back wide, we might pick it up and we lose tension in the band, and then on the way through, definitely it really starts to narrow through. And if you're someone who you've heard the expression of the chicken wing before, this would be something very similar that starts to happen with this. We're seeing that we lose all tension in the band, and the problem with that is when you get down to the bottom, as you set this club now, you are setting the radius of the arc, so the low point of the swing, at the golf ball, down at the ball. If you now lose the tension in the band, you've brought it up a good foot there, so you've got to do something like dipping, bending your knees, dropping your trail shoulder, a plethora of things just to try and get any sort of contact, all because you're just changing the radius of your arc. So what I'd like you to do is get a band like this and start to make some swings. So for me, 60 yards, I've got my 58 degree out. For me, I class that as a chest to chest swing, so somewhere around there, and that's where my hands are swinging to. So chest to chest, and notice the band is staying with some tension in it. It's not chest with tension, chest with no tension. I'm allowing myself to feel the stretch of the band. I can just feel it pulling on the back of my neck a little bit. I'm here and here. I'm trying to keep that tension the whole time, not letting it start to dip in. And when I do that, then if I keep my tension throughout this golf swing and I'm feeling chest to chest, A really nice little crisp pitch off there. Microphone will have picked that up, and I've just scampered onto the front. We've got a 20-foot pitch. If you're someone who's scared of that shot, that will have looked a million times better than the one we saw at the start. The second thing, if we just play back that swing from the first shot, what we will notice is such a difference in the speed. The speed going back opposed to the speed coming in and into the follow through. When I just hit that shot then with the band on, it was very evident that the tempo was there. So let's think about rhythm. When we're playing these shots, once we've had some training with the band on and we're feeling now that we're actually keeping the arc width the same as we're going through, we let the wrist tinge, we turn through, we see ourselves finishing towards the target. Let's not get nervous. Let's not actually be too driven by the fear of duffing it in there and almost have a jumpy, shaky one. Let's think about the flow of the club, and I like to do this with my lessons by just taking it in the trail hand and getting a really loose grip and saying, right, can you just wipe the club, the sole of the club on the floor for me? Just a nice smooth, a nice smooth brush here as we're going through. Can you just start to feel that you start to let the club just go back and to, like a pendulum. There is a gradual acceleration down into the golf ball, but all we're seeing here now is that my body's turning and I'm actually letting the flow of the club work for me. It's not throw it, quit on it, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. It's a very gradual motion. So find out what your tempo is. Some people's are quicker, some are longer and smoother, but really work on having a feel of what it is like to let that club actually travel on a consistent rhythm and the same speed as we're going along. We wouldn't drive down the motorway or the highway, for the American viewers, going as full as we can, jam on brakes, start again, jam, jam. We just literally want to go at that one consistent speed all the time. So two of those things there coupled together, once we get feeling the arc width the same and we now let that speed be the same back and through, like I say, for me 60 yards chest to chest. Once we do that and we take aim at the flag here now, there we go, good setup, tension and nice same speeds. Bit too much of a divot on that one, but again, it's closer than the last one. I've now got a 15-foot putt. Just let the leading edge just bury in ever so slightly there, but the swing did not look like I was nervous. It didn't look like the club was controlling me, and the situation, the actual thing I was faced with was letting me actually affect my golf swing. I was thinking about that nice rhythm and keeping some width throughout the golf swing. So if that is one of your fearful shots, hitting the half wedge with obstacles in between you, make sure you go through those points there. Find some points you want to swing to, try and keep the arc width the same, and then also let's see that the rhythm stays the same. Keep it flowing, keep working on it, and you won't be duffing any more of those shots there, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson this week. If you have, do hit that like button for me. Drop me a comment down below which other shot in golf scares you the most, and we can hopefully answer it in another video for you. A big thank you to Formby Ladies as well for having me out here today. Check out the upcoming course review from here as well, that will be coming soon. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you in the next lesson, where you'll be pitching it better.